Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest geopolitical stories currently making headlines, the escalating diplomatic dispute between Canada and India. Relations between these two democracies have hit a rough patch, and the tensions are only rising. So, what's going on? What led to this fallout, and what does it mean for the future of Canada-India relations? Let's break it down. Historically, Canada and India have enjoyed relatively strong ties. With over 1.4 million Canadians of Indian descent, there's been a strong people-to-people connection. India is also one of Canada's biggest trading partners in Asia, and both countries have benefited from educational and cultural exchanges. But despite these positive links, the current situation has placed this relationship on shaky ground. Now, the tension started building a few months ago, but it's reached a boiling point after some sharp diplomatic moves and public accusations. One of the key flashpoints in this dispute is the growing disagreement over India's treatment of its Sikh population. Canada, home to a large Sikh community, has seen increasing activism surrounding issues related to the Khalistan movement, a separatist cause seeking to create an independent Sikh homeland in Punjab, India. The Indian government has long been sensitive to this movement, viewing it as a threat to its national unity, and has been vocal in its displeasure about Khalistani activities on Canadian soil. The situation intensified when Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made statements accusing India of interfering in Canadian domestic affairs by monitoring Sikh separatists in Canada. India quickly responded, dismissing these claims and accusing Canada of not doing enough to curb extremism that India views as a threat. This exchange has pushed both governments into a heated back and forth. In fact, some reports suggest that intelligence agencies from both countries have been involved in covert operations related to this issue, further straining the situation. Things escalated when both countries began taking more concrete diplomatic steps. Canada expelled an Indian diplomat, accusing them of espionage and interference in Canadian politics. India, in retaliation, expelled a Canadian diplomat from New Delhi. These tit-for-tat moves signal that neither country is willing to back down easily, and the dispute is moving beyond just words. But this diplomatic dispute isn't just about the Khalistan movement. It's about larger geopolitical tensions as well. India, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has been positioning itself as a rising global power. Canada, meanwhile, has been aligning more closely with Western countries like the United States and European allies, particularly on issues like human rights and democracy. While Canada and India share common values, their perspectives on some of these issues, especially when it comes to national security and minority rights, have sharply diverged. Another layer to this dispute is trade. Canada and India had been in talks to boost economic cooperation, but those negotiations have stalled. With India growing into a global economic powerhouse, many expected the two countries to form closer trade relations. However, the current diplomatic spat has led to the suspension of key trade talks. This could have significant economic repercussions for both nations, as billions of dollars of potential trade and investment are now in jeopardy. And then there's the human element. The Indian diaspora in Canada, particularly the Sikh community, has found itself in the middle of this dispute. On one hand, they are vocal about their rights to free speech and political activism in Canada. On the other hand, India's government is pressuring Canada to take a harder stance against what it perceives as extremism. This has put many in the diaspora in a difficult position, torn between their Canadian identity and their connection to India. So, what's next? It's hard to predict how this will unfold. Will the two countries find a way to resolve their differences diplomatically, or are we heading towards a long-term rift? The hope is that cooler heads will prevail, and both sides will come to the table to address their concerns. For now, though, it looks like we're in for a period of strained relations, and this could have wide-reaching consequences, not just for Canada and India, but for their allies as well. As we wrap up, it's clear that this dispute is more than just a diplomatic spat. It touches on issues of national identity, foreign interference, minority rights, and the role of the diaspora. Both Canada and India have much to lose if relations continue to deteriorate, and the world will be watching closely to see how this situation evolves. That's all for today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on global politics and current affairs. Let me know in the comments what you think. Can Canada and India resolve this dispute peacefully? Thanks for watching, and see you next time.